A lot of the things that I have rediscovered about myself are actually, or even become aware of myself, are actually painful things that I
Mm,
maybe just suppressed and didn't pay much attention to. I think when you
yeah.
live a busy life, especially when you have one, two, three, multiple children, you
Mhm.
don't really have time to, you don't really have time to sit and think and feel and process and do all the things. I think there are a lot of ways that I have shown up in my life, in my relationship, my marriage even,
Mm.
that weren't the most empowered version of me, that weren't the most worthy version of me.
Welcome to the Thrive Like a Mother podcast.
Thank
So
you
I
for
want to
that.
start off straight from the get-go. When I ask you about your current season of life, you said you've come too far to quit now. Let's talk, let's jump straight into it and talk about what that means for you.
Yes. Okay. Well, first, thank you for even inviting me to be on your podcast. That means a lot to me. This season, I know, you hear about eras that women go on, self-love era and all the things, and I really don't have a theme for it other than It it is hard, but it has been harder, and I know that if I could have gotten through the past 5 years, I can get through the next 6 months or the next year. So I think COVID is a thing that maybe we have talked about too much, a lot, but, honestly, I don't know if my life has ever been the same since COVID.
No, or
Yeah, and I don't know if
anybody's.
anybody's has, if we're honest, right? So I had my baby, my daughter who is now 5, I still call her my
Hmm.
baby.
Yes.
2 weeks after we shut down here in Maryland, and I still ask myself why God thought I was the best choice to be a mom of 3 and to become a mom of 3 under such harsh conditions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Goodness. Okay. So let's talk through some more of that because I know, like you said, COVID changed us all. Like it changed us as parents, it changed our kids, the way they're
yes,
growing up
for
in
sure.
the world now. How did you coming out of that experience? How did you navigate that change, knowing that okay, nothing is ever going to be the same
Hmm,
after this experience? Especially previously already having 2 kids, right? And
yeah.
yeah.
Such a good question because I think in my mind, COVID as an era or a time was longer than it actually was in my mind.
Mhm.
So I got stuck in a loop of thoughts
Yeah.
outside of the what I will call the traumatic experience of all things COVID, right? And I think the best thing I could have done for myself during it was to keep showing up as little or as much as I could for myself. So through exercise, through journaling, through, professional development, things like that, because that was something that I had to hold on to
Mm.
throughout, but then also something that I had to kind of reground me when I realized I have to change my thinking around what life can be now because we're not in that space anymore, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I had a hard time even reintegrating with the world and
Mhm.
a little what I would almost call PTSD where, like, if the kids cough, I'm like, "No, no, no, they can't go to school, they'll infect the
Mhm.
whole school."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, there's just little subtle ways where it still shows up in my life 5 years later, but I definitely would say the biggest thing for me to kind of come out of it was just self-awareness. Just being
Yeah.
aware of what I was thinking and what I was feeling and if it was moving me forward or keeping me stuck. Yeah, and then realizing that it was kinda keeping me stuck, figuring out how to get out of that mental space.
Yes. I almost feel like, especially for coming out of that time period, it felt like almost like a rebirth for all of us because we had to learn, like you said, like how to now just be in
Yeah.
this new space, in this new world that, you know, is
Yeah.
forever changed.
For sure. And I think it was a grieving too, like a
Yes.
and grieving of what life was before, who you were before, who your family was before, and understanding that it's okay that you are in a grief. It feels weird. It's like this ambiguous grief. It feels very strange, but
Yes.
allowing it to be okay that you do have that grief
Yes.
for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So for y'all listening in who are meeting Ty for the very first time, y'all, she's an Army veteran turned personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and y'all double certified breathwork coach. And we're gonna get into that a little bit later. About your breath work. But she's also now, y'all, she's training to become a Pilates instructor. As you've heard, she's a mama of three, and she's also host of the podcast Build with Ty. And I think really, what I love most about Ty's story is how she's taken just every chapter that has been painful in her life and she's turned it around to not only help herself rebuild, but also help other women learn how they can rebuild mind, body, and soul. And so you walked through so many transitions, right? Motherhood, grief, emotional healing, even some of what you've shared with me, like you said, within the past 5 years. What
Yeah.
did rebuilding look like for you just in real time?
Hmm. Well, I think if I'm honest, I'm still in kind of a rebuilding phase. I
Mhm.
call this my midlife reclamation.
Mm,
But I think some of the very important tools in this particular season of rebuilding um, are the breath work.
yes.
For me, breath work has really opened me up to myself
Mhm.
and helped me understand what's true for me and bridge the gap between what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and understand how those two things are interrelated and connected.
Yeah.
So that piece, having real, honest, and sometimes extremely challenging conversations with the people in my life who
Mhm.
have a major impact on my life and my day-to-day
Yeah.
existence. But then also being in community with people who are doing similar work and want to do the similar things and have similar transformations. So I would say
Yes.
those three things. Being able to access my authentic self through just being still in breath work and then sharing that outwardly and then finding
Yes.
people who get it. Finding being with people and in community with people who I would say get it. Get it is just the
Yes.
easiest way to say what I don't know how to say.
That make no, it makes sense 100% to me. I feel like I say that all the time. Like
Yeah,
you have to find your circle that just understands
for sure.
because not everybody is going to, right? And like that's okay. But if you have your circle, you can feel supported.
For sure. Yeah.
So, y'all, one of my favorite parts about Ty's platform, she's always reminding me to breathe. Y'all, it's so simple, right? It feels like even my meditation this morning, it was like, that one thing that just your body does automatically. But if you take a moment to do that with intention, right? There's magic, there's a shift that happens within yourself to just reset everything. So I want to talk about you've shared like three just powerful tools with our listeners already. Are there any parts of yourself through doing those tools and those activities that you have been able to rediscover new parts of yourself lately?
Hmm. So interesting because listening to you say that even that I am an Army veteran, even though I know I'm an Army veteran, hearing someone else say it is like, wow,
Mhm.
you did do that.
Yes.
And then remembering all the things that came along with making that choice.
Mhm.
Well, if I'm honest, a lot of the things that I have rediscovered about myself are actually, or even become aware of myself, are actually painful things that I maybe just suppressed and didn't pay much attention to. I think when you
Yeah.
live a busy life, especially when you have one, two, three, multiple children, you don't really have time to. You don't really have time to sit and think and feel and process and do all the things. So I think there are a lot of ways that I have shown up in my life, um, in my relationship, my marriage even, that weren't the most empowered version of me, that weren't the most worthy version of me.
Mm,
So, yeah, I think honestly, the biggest revelations I've had were the ways that I wasn't fulfilling my greatest potential. Uh,
mm,
I even
yeah.
joined the army because not because I was this brave person and I wanted to fight these battles, but honestly because I was kinda tired of quitting on myself.
Mm, yeah.
In college, I left because the money was a little funny, and I went to work, and I don't know, I was just kinda tired of that struggle between where to spend the I was just tired of quitting on myself and tired of being unclear, and I was like, "You know what? Joining the army is a brave choice that will get my
Mhm.
bills paid and help me figure out a path forward." So,
Yes.
just the biggest thing was just understanding why I've made the moves that I've made.
Mhm.
Deep, deep understanding of why I've done the things that I've done, and then kinda forgive myself for maybe not meeting my fullest potential, but also being very compassionate and honoring the version of myself who was just doing the best I could with what I knew
Yeah.
and surviving at that time. So, I think now this reclamation is like, "Okay, now you know these things, what are
Mhm.
we gonna do now? What are we doing next?"
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Do you remember? Because it sounds to me like you had a moment, where you had the realization that you had either lost your voice or lost yourself in just being and doing. Do you remember what that moment was? And then, like, what helped you be like, "Okay, no,
Hmm,
we're moving differently."
that's so good. I don't know if I could say I had a moment, but I will tell you my teenager, so my oldest daughter is 15. When she was in middle school, so she's 10th grade now, so I would say 7th, 8th grade, she was having a really, really hard time with everything.
Yeah.
Her friends, her grades, her hair, everything. And I
Yeah.
think I realized, hmm, this is about the time when I started to have these messages as well,
Mhm.
right? And our
Yeah.
lives look very different. My parents were divorced. I have, a little bit of trauma with that. And so her life is a lot different, but the things that we experience in our seasons of life and human
Yeah.
development are very similar.
Yeah.
And I think seeing her believe some of the messaging that I would say, like, "That's a lie. Make sure you tell yourself that that's not
Mhm.
true. I know that's what you're thinking, but tell yourself that that is not true." Like, start having those types of conversations. I think
Yeah.
that woke me up to the need for me to heal the
Mm.
wounds from 30 years ago. I don't
Yeah.
wanna show up for my kids as the same wounded thir 13-year-old, and the fact that I can viscerally remember
Yeah.
things the way that she's going through them in the same ways, I'm like, "Yeah, it's time, it's time." It's
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that that's still there.
Yeah,
You didn't
right,
know it
and,
was still
it's
there,
so
but it
good
is.
because the healing journey that I've been on, I've been very and not all the parts, and I'm very, appropriate with how I share and her level of understanding. But I share it with her as I'm growing through it, and it has been so powerful for her as she navigates her friendships and relationships and her identity and her relationship with herself, and it just makes me so thankful that I had that awakening. So I don't like I said, I don't think it was a moment, but I think over time just observing what was going on with my family. Yeah.
Yes. I love that, especially our kids. There's that quote of that, kids, especially if you're a woman and you have girls, it's like they hold up a mirror to you and you're like, "Oh, there's some things I have not dealt with that I probably
Yes,
should,"
correct.
at this point in my life.
Yep,
Oh,
that was it.
yes.
So it's definitely, my oldest for that, and then my youngest is my patience. Like, she
Oh,
triggers
yeah.
every tr every trigger. That 5-year-old is like, "Ping, ping, 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 ping." So she definitely helps me understand. She has been the catalyst in me understanding my nervous system better and how I
Mm,
respond to,
yeah.
overstimulation and, how I respond to perceived threat and things like that. So the
Yeah.
bookend girls have definitely
Yeah.
fueled, um, my journey
Yes.
for sure.
Oh, goodness. Okay, Ty, what would you tell the woman who's listening right now and she's in a season where she feels like she's stuck or she's in that season where things are just like compounding? It's like, okay, what am I gonna have to deal with next? What would you tell that
Yeah.
woman?
Hmm. The first thing I'm going to say is give yourself grace. And it's so funny that 5 is the biblical number of grace. 5 has been a huge number for me over the past 5 years. So it's very funny to me that grace is now coming up in this conversation 5 years into my, what I'm gonna call my healing journey. But have grace for yourself and take time to really be still with yourself so you can understand what you're feeling and what is real and what is not. I think a lot of times when we get stuck, it's because we have so many different messages coming from so many different places. We can't even
Mm,
really truly hear ourselves.
mhm.
Um, and we don't even really truly know what is real and what's not real and what matters and what doesn't matter. So I think the biggest thing is just being willing to be honest with yourself about what you want, about what you don't want, about what hurts, about what feels good. I think being honest with ourselves can sometimes be the hardest,
Yeah.
but then once you feel like you're truly getting honest and things are really coming through for you in that authentic way, share it with somebody. Share it with someone you
Yes.
trust so that they
Yeah.
can help kind of sometimes we it's tricky because sometimes you think something is real, but if you share it with the wrong person, they will shut you down.
Mhm. Yeah.
No, 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 no. Put that
Yeah.
away. Don't
Yeah.
let's not, right? And so I think you really need to talk to somebody who you know you can trust that really has your best interests in mind
Mm,
for their own, right? They don't see your truth as a threat to themselves.
mm.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah, people will keep
Goodness.
you stuck if you don't
Yes,
pay attention.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay, so what is one recent hard thing that you faced that you
Mhm.
feel like stretched your capacity, but also helped you just kind of grow in turn?
I'm gonna share this with and I think that I am over the hump of it, where it's not, as much of an emotional trigger, but my mother moved away, um, in 2023. In April, May, will be at 3 years. So 2023, she packed up all her stuff, sold some of her stuff, gave me her house plants,
Mhm.
and moved clear across the country,
Wow.
and it was devastating for me.
Mhm.
So many things came up, so many old wounds, and I never really realized that that was a whole other area of grief that I had to deal
Yeah.
with. But I also had guilt dealing with that grief. But I think it grew me in such a way that I realized even without that help and
Mhm.
that support, I'm still able to make things happen.
Yes.
I just can't do it the way honestly, with her not being here, I realize I don't have to do it the way she wants me to because I
Yeah.
don't
You
have
start to
her to,
learn
like,
your
be
own
on my
ways.
shoulder and coming in and saying, "Oh, is this how you've designed your house, or is this how
True.
this isn't clean?" Or you know what I mean? Some of the things that,
Yeah.
we really f f are worried about our mothers judging us about.
Yeah.
But it definitely opened my eyes to my own capacity. I don't have her to help me pick up the kids or do certain things or come over and keep the kids so that I can go out and things like that. So it opened me up to being able to ask for help.
Ooh, that's a big one for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not having my mom and being able to call her when I needed her to pick up my oldest from her activities or come over to the house so that I could go to a job or my husband and I could go out or whatever really forced me to figure out other ways to
Yeah.
ask for help. So that was a big one. My mom also was never a big asker of help.
Mhm.
So I kept myself stuck in that story. Well, my mom didn't have to ask for help. Why should I have to ask for
Yeah.
help? Then she left and I think it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So I think in the biggest way, it showed me that it's okay to let people show up for you, when you need it. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's something I'm constantly reminding myself is that I don't have to be Superwoman. Do not have to be that,
Mhm.
all of the times. Sometimes, we need help too. We need
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Okay,
for
so
sure.
how do you right now, how do you personally prepare to face challenges? And I know that that can be a tough question because sometimes you don't know when the challenge is coming, right? But how do you stay ready? Maybe that's how do you stay ready
Hmm.
for things that are gonna come up in our lives?
Yeah, that's good. I think the biggest I use my fitness journey as the lowest hanging fruit to get through challenges. And it's
Mhm.
not just, the lifting weights, picking up heavy things and putting heavy things down. It's really the scheduling around it, the
Yeah.
recovery around it, your mindset around it. You know, when I'm working out with my kids at home, it's like the being patient around it, being okay
Yes.
with it being 20 minutes rather than the 60 minutes that I had planned. So I think I stay ready for hard things just by showing up for hard things and the mental capacity that I've built around that. That's I don't know any other way than just
Yeah.
showing up to work out. I show up to work
Yes.
out and sometimes I'm super, super strong and sometimes
Mhm.
I'm here and I'm just gonna sit on this bench
Yeah.
and if something comes out, then fine, and if it doesn't, at least I tried, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's just controlling what you can control and like I say about everything, listening to yourself, listen to your body and figure out what feels good in that moment.
I love that. I love that. Well, I see you've been able to build such a beautiful community and just have been involved in some beautiful communities. What is something that community has taught you about healing and resilience?
Wow. The biggest thing community has taught me about healing is we all have something to offer. We all have a voice that needs to be heard. All of us. All of our stories, all of our experiences, all of our tragedies, our triumphs. We all have a story. We can all inspire each other. Um, and I know that my sharing my story has inspired and encouraged someone else to share theirs.
Hmm.
And I think community just kinda shows you that you're not alone, you are supported, and it allows you to see where other people have found the courage and found the strength. It allows you to be inspired, and it allows you to find your voice amongst other people, right?
Yes.
Especially as someone who so I grew up in Baltimore City, which if
Hmm.
you've ever seen The Wire, it's the city.
Yes.
And I moved my mom moved us out to what we call the county here, which is like 30 minutes away, and I everything was different. I talked different, I dressed different. I never really felt like I fit in anywhere. I didn't really know how I should talk or how I should be as a human being, and I think when that is how you kinda grow up,
Hmm.
it sticks with you for a long time, and I think finding community is a place where you can finally just relax and breathe and just
Yes.
be yourself.
Yes. Yes. You don't have to be like, oh, how should I show up
Yeah,
in this room at this certain
yeah,
time? No, just be
right,
you. Just
right,
be you.
right.
It'll all work out.
It's so good. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing with community is like settle in. You're welcome here. You belong here. You don't have to wear a mask or be someone you're
Yes.
not here. Yeah,
Yes. I
yeah.
love that. All right. Well, Ty, if you could leave the women that are listening today with one affirmation or truth that is guiding you right now, what would that be?
Oh my gosh. The biggest truth is that everything I want to say this in the most profound way, but it's going to come out the only way I know how to say it.
Yes.
Everything that you want and need is available to you.
Mm.
Every question that you have can be answered if you listen to your heart. And if you feel stuck, I promise you that your honesty is in your heart and your honesty is the best way to be free.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's an affirmation, but
No, I'm holding on to that one.
yeah, I don't know if it's an affirmation, but I think we the answers are the answers are within us. And
Yes,
if
they're already
and
there.
there is no other time, no better time than this very time to get clear on those answers.
Yes, and just trust. I love that you through our whole conversation, just be honest with yourself, y'all. Just be honest. Don't listen to he said, she said, they're saying. What do you say? What
Yeah.
do you say?
Yeah,
Yes.
even what your mama said 50, 40 years ago,
Yeah.
it was
Mhm.
important, but it maybe
Yeah.
doesn't apply anymore.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. Well, Ty, thank you for bringing your full heart to this conversation. I think you have reminded me and then just so many of us listening that even the middle, the hard, the messy, we're still becoming, we're still here. And like you said, I'm gonna say it back. You've come too far to quit now. You've
Yes,
come too
indeed.
far to quit now. That is a message. I think every single mama listening into this right now, like we all need to hear it. So I want to share some ways that they can stay connected with you on social media.
Yes. So I am on all my social media platforms as Build with Ty. Really just Instagram right now. I don't use TikTok at all because you know how we can get into that rabbit hole. Soon, very soon, I will be releasing my breathwork community. It's gonna be called the Breath Lab. I'm super excited about it. I hope to have
Me
it
too.
released by the end of the year, so I will keep you abreast of that on Instagram and social media, but anywhere that I am available is gonna be at Build with Ty.
Yes, thank you. I can't wait to plug into that breathwork
I'm
community because
excited
I
too.
I need. All right, y'all. Well, until next time, remember your growth takes grace and you've already come so much further than you think.
Yes. Thank you, Ebony.
You're welcome.